Two of us make quite the pair, eh?
Airlock integrity looks good.
Good day, Captain.
Hard to believe this place is still intact.
Good to see you.
But the military is
Certainly.
nothing if not... resilient.
This is UC Security. Prepare to be scanned for contraband. Scan complete.
I was just thinking that this is about what Irvin saw all those years ago when he arrived. He probably stood here thinking that he was going to make things better. He had a good heart. Maybe not in its current. More plans. I wonder if Ellie has any pictures of old Gagarin in her office. Only one way to find out, right? Yes, but listen. Nobody will stand up against the mining corporations around here. They're scared. She didn't want to lose the case, but she didn't have a lot to go on. Thanks to us, now she does. I sent that to our lawyer already. I asked her to confidentially review what we found. Ellie Yankton. She worked on Irvin's previous case. Ellie is one of the few lawyers on this planet who's willing to take on the mining corporations in court. Right. She said she would meet us at our office when we arrive. Hopefully she can tell us what we need to do in order to clear Irvin's name. Let's stick together, though. Gagarin isn't a huge town, but it's not the kind of town that I want to get lost in.
A hazmat squad came through here the other day. Said they're cleaning out any heat leeches. Public safety concern.
I have to break up one more fight at
Well, well, well. Barrett, you're actually here. Astounding.
Ellie! Ellie, come on. I promised we'd stop by, didn't I?
People make promises all the time, Barrett. And most folks try to avoid Gagarin, not visit it. Anyway, I'm glad you made it out here. We have work to do, don't we? Not exactly, but similar cases. A corporation commits a crime and needs a scapegoat, so they select someone powerless to target.
The quintessential Gagarin tale.
Indeed. Yes. It was my first case as a bright-eyed, optimistic lawyer.
Well, starting your career with a defeat is rough, Ellie.
It was. But in a way, it made me more determined. It's not a resort. It's a working town run by mining corporations. You don't come here unless you need to, and you don't stay unless you have to.
Or unless you're a bright-eyed, optimistic lawyer who genuinely wants to make things better for others. Right, Ellie?
You're kind, Barrett. Yes, I suppose there's that type of person as well. Down to business. Perfect. What do you already know?
So we already know that Irvin worked for Hephaestus Mining Company years ago. And they blamed him for catastrophic economic and ecological issues here on Gagarin.
Yes, he lost his case because he didn't defend himself, and we had almost no evidence without him. He was publicly blamed for the economic woes, and his accounts were seized in compensation.
His account on Gagarin specifically. It was just the amount he was paid years ago for the job.
Right. They would have taken his assets and other settlements, but by law, his death prevented it.
I recall receiving a message asking him to appear in court a day after his funeral.
An unfortunate reality of interplanetary legal communiques, I'm afraid. Well, we can bring the case to a judge here if we have new evidence or a witness.
What about the evidence we found so far?
Yes, well, about that. It's just not enough. Best case scenario, we clear his name and his assets are returned, plus additional compensation. Not on its own, no. It's circumstantial. Helpful to support our claim, but not enough. In order for me to go before a judge, I'd like to have some solid evidence pertaining to motive. The courts won't entertain a challenge to its ruling unless we're sure that something major was missed in the original trial.
What was the motive from the original trial?
We had no solid motive after our witness withdrew his testimony. Yeah, we need something major. Documentation, recordings, a witness, something.
It's been so long. How could we find anything like that?
I've thought about this a lot since the original case. The mine that Irvin worked at was shuttered in 2309. They probably still have documents relating to whatever happened there with him. Not necessarily. To Hephaestus, it might be cheaper to run away and let the dust bury it all.
Not really. All I know is that it's a Hephaestus mine from 20 years ago, somewhere on Gagarin.
I don't have a couple decades to wait for you to search them all, so we'll need to narrow it down. That's where you come in. I don't know which mine he worked at when the incident took place. In theory, you could find that information on a Foundry terminal, if you can access it. You'll need a passcode. That's the hard part. Besides the Foundry records, there also might be something in Irvin's apartment. If he knew he was being framed, he might have held on to some documents there.
Dear Diary, today we created an ecological disaster and then blamed it on an off-worlder. Love Hephaestus.
Funny. But you'd be surprised how often people write down things that get them into serious trouble.
Oh, do tell.
For comparison, I just finished a case against another company that was charged with illegally dumping waste near the town's water supply. Their permit specified a site that would have cost twice as much fuel, so they sent a memo to the driver to dump it at the first available location just outside of town.
They actually wrote that down. Classic. Do you think your Argos extractor's credentials could work? That would be handy.
Barrett, you brought someone with relevant work experience? I admire that.
I'm nothing if not resourceful, Ellie.
If that doesn't work, then maybe talk shop with another worker. See if they can help.
We just need to find the mine where Irvin worked 20-some years ago. How hard could that be?
Let me level with you both. It might not be possible to find enough evidence. but we may as well try, right? At least we'll know one way or another. If you'll excuse me, I have to get some court documents ready for this case.
The Foundry District isn't too far from here.
Hello there.
Well, this is it. Irvin's old apartment. Here, use this key. After you, Captain. Now I get why he wanted me to look after his plants. No windows, insufficient power for proper lamps. Oh. Irvin didn't live here for long, but he certainly had a lot of junk here. I had no idea. Wait a second. What about this safe? I bet it's locked by a terminal. Well, I'll be. If you ever doubted Irvin's genius, look at all this. Still chugging along 20 years later. Hold on. Is that what I think it is? Aha! Will you look at that? If we go to town hall, I bet we can get a copy of that hunting license. Is that Irvin's employment contract? Let me see. No idea where mine H363 is, but we could search for it at the Foundry database. All right, we've got some solid leads, it looks like. The employment contract and the hunting license at town hall. And as the lawyer, she's probably right. The burden of proof is sky high on this one. It's likely already in orbit. It was a bit strange going through Irvin's old things, though. I was hoping for some old pictures, but nothing. What's that you have there? A plant? No, but I did find a few slates that might give us a clue, as well as a reminder to finish a physics paper that I never did. Yeah, but not for the trial. Let no one say that Irvin Madani didn't have a sentimental side. The proof is in this plant, with an assist from this self-sustaining habitat dish. Witchcraft, probably. But if you want a more scientific explanation, I have a couple of theories. It could go through states of hibernation, or draw moisture from the air the way epiphytic plants do. There's also that habitat dish Irvin set up for it, which gave it light and nutrients. Still, I'm not ruling out witchcraft. I'm not sure. It might not even be a plant. It might technically be a fungus. But there's probably a reason why Irvin tried his best to keep it alive. When we get back home, I'll go through some of his research notes. It might tell us something more about this plant. Hopefully it's not poisonous. No, maybe not. But it helps me. Irvin was the last person to handle this plant. It mattered to him. No matter how the case goes, this warms my heart. I didn't expect to find it, but I love that I did. In any event, I'll go through Irvin's notes in more detail later. There's probably a flowchart somewhere with this little guy's name on it. Oh, on that note, we should give it a name. I'm thinking something simple yet refined. What do you think of Harvey? Then it's unanimous. Okay, the three of us should get back to it. You, me, and Harvey have a case to solve. Done. Impressive.
I don't have any money to give you, but sorry.
Coordinates look valid to me. Imagine Irvin thinking the same thing all those years ago. Just a job, right? Well, at least we know where to keep looking, right? I guess we'll see what state the mine is in. If that's the case, we'll just have to figure.
What time is it?
Hopefully that public access computer is still working. You ever read about the early history of spaceflight? It's so political. The hunting license was sponsored by Hephaestus after all. It will be very interesting to see this.
You're back.
We got it from town hall and everything. It's the real deal.
I see. This sort of thing works well for the narrative of our case, but we will need more evidence to bring it to a judge.
We're on it, Ellie. Don't worry.
Well, I like the sound of that. Okay, now that is a solid lead. Well, don't let me stop you while you're on a roll, detectives. We can talk more later.
Careful. This place was shuttered 20 years ago. It might have new tenants now. Ah, yes. That sort of internal structure is common to biological organisms. Come back! Yes, I know how this ends. Well, they don't need it now. This looks promising. This looks like administration. Records. Bingo. All right. Let's go find Irvin and Helgi's lab stations. All yours. Was the destruction of the bacterial colonies, not the apex predators. So, they ruined the ecosystem here, and it had nothing to do with Irvin. This is it. This is what Ellie needs to see. What if we leave a few things here and make us... The evidence we found? Sure. Just let me move some things around. Okay. Let's keep looking around. Watch out. That's going to be messy. Seems like Helge tried to do the right thing here. I'm sure Ellie would want to see this. Yes, that sort of internal structure is common to biological. Muscle time! Is that all? whole planet smells weird. Like chemicals and smoke.
Got anything you need to offload? Trade authorities always buy. Kiosk right here for you.
You don't need to be a botanist. Of course. That's... Gagarin has seen some better days. Ellie! Hello?
Welcome back, detectives.
Ellie, I sent you all the data from the mine already. As I'm sure you know.
Yes, I've been reviewing it. Sit down. Let's have a chat about it. Welcome back, you two. How was the trip to the mine?
You're gonna love this, Ellie.
Okay, someone better tell me. Come on.
We found the coordinates to Irvin's old work site and went there. Huge battle. Fire, explosions. Pew, 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 pew.
Barrett, please.
You should have seen the plants in there, too. Weird stuff. Anyway, you read over the documents we found there, right? What do you think?
What you both found in that mine is remarkable. These documents show that the chemicals released by the mining process contaminated the ecology even before Irvin was tasked with removing the predators. And they also show that Helgi informed Hephaestus of the issue, and it was repeatedly ignored. And with that, I think we've got ourselves a case, my friends.
Yes! That's what I wanted to hear, Ellie. Woo!
Yes, but it's still likely to lose. Because what we really need now is Helgi as our witness, and that is a problem. Helgi isn't an ideal witness at all. He was our star witness the first time, and he never showed up. Plus, he's got a reputation around town. After he quit, he went a bit weird.
I can handle a bit weird. I know the captain can too.
Clearly. But the judge might feel differently. It might be worth finding some character witnesses too while you're looking for him. I'm glad you're taking it in stride. It's just, for a case with this much science, we need the man who wrote the claims to back them up. Maybe even explain it in layman's terms. We could, but I think we'd lose the case, bluntly. We can verify these documents are real, but Hephaestus can counter by attacking Helgi's character. They'll label him a disgruntled employee and then find a dozen independent scientists to confirm Irvin was at fault. But with Helgi in court, he can explain the science and help me challenge any countering theories during cross-examination. That's also a bit tricky. He's hard to find. Doesn't really stay in one place for long. You might ask Dr. Kayala. She checks up on folks who fall through the cracks sometimes. You'd have to convince her to tell you where he is. That might be hard.
Sounds like we're making a stop at the med clinic. We'll be back when we convince Helgi to be a witness.
Listen, if he refuses, then he refuses. Can't force him.
Yeah, we don't want to press him too hard. The last thing we need is him refuting what he wrote. This is going to take a light touch, but I think we can handle it.
Do you need medical assistance? Are you injured? Is there something I can help you two with?
Do you happen to know Dr. Helgi Hawkson? We're trying to get his help with something.
Sorry, who are you exactly?
We're detectives. Self-taught and unaffiliated. Freelance detectives. With the emphasis on the free part.
Wait, what? Detectives? Sorry, I don't think I know what you're talking about. I treat anyone who walks in my doors, if I'm able to. No, not really. I mean, there's Irvin the Slaughterer and Irvin the Scourge of Gagarin, but I doubt that's the same person, right? I'm sorry, I'm not a tour guide. You'll have to ask somebody else.
We're trying to help him. And Gagarin, actually.
Only every single time I see him. But listen, I don't have time to chat. Ellie's a good person. That bodes well, but I can't violate my oaths. I'm sorry. Listen, I can say that Helgi took up a job working at Clint's store just down the way. I saw him there stacking boxes the last time I picked up an order. I've got to get back to my work here, so if there's nothing else... If it's patient medical records you're after, I'll remind you, I'm not at liberty to discuss that.
We're thinking of taking Hephaestus to court with Dr. Hawkson as a witness. Now, given his situation, we're worried the defense might cast aspersions on his character, even question his mental health.
That's unfortunate, but not surprising. Look, if he agrees to testify and grants me permission, I could vouch for his well-being.
Thanks, Doc. If he does end up testifying, we'll definitely need you for the trial. Ellie Yankton will be in touch.
No promises, given patient confidentiality, but I'll do my best. Let me look you over. Honestly, I'm surprised you're walking around like this. Okay, this might hurt a little. There, good as new. More or less. I'm sure I have something I can spare. I need to get back to my work now, if you don't mind.
The Terrabrew kiosk still busted? I swear.
May not look like much, but there are some Funny you ask, because I'd like to know too. He owes me a sizable debt. I've seen him around, but never in one place, except when he needs money. I offered him a job, but he showed up to work drunk one day and I had to let him go. I don't have any ill will toward him. Sure, the credits I'd like to have back, but only because it'll mean he's gotten his life together. Enough that he's no longer allowed in my store. I don't like denying service to anyone, but it's the principle of the matter. I don't want to be mixed up with anything like that. Yeah, sure they do. Sorry, but I can't. I'm not scared of you. Sorry, that's your... Try asking Delito in security. I had an incident with help. You sure you got the right person? Helgi and I have had several run-ins in the past. For me, yes. But there's a lot of water.
We just need someone to serve as his character witness, given your long-standing reputation in the city.
Sure, I can say a few words. I like Helgi. But fair warning, I'm not gonna lie for him. If I'm testifying under oath, it'll be full of the good and the bad.
Wouldn't expect anything less.
I know a guy who just got a job at the Centauri Mills plant. Won't say what they pay, but his outfits sure have gotten nicer.
Let's help you with something. If you need to file a report on him, please use the computer there.
How long would that take?
5 to 10 business days. Now please, move on. Not unless you can fund Town Hall's reconstruction. She could use their help. She would agree that following procedure by filing their report is your best option, legally.
Excuse us, folks. Important detective business here. Okay, I got an idea. That terminal probably has reports on persons of interest. If you don't mind distracting the chief for a while, I can dig into the system and see if there's any clues. Sounds like a plan. I'll talk to the chief. You file the report. So, I really don't think I'll be holding on to the property for long. If you know anyone who's interested... So, were you able to find anything? He must have fallen on hard times. Not surprising, given all that he's had to endure. Let's hope he's in the mood to talk.
Gagarin's not an easy place to live.
I don't suppose you're here to tell me I've won a ticket to a new planet, huh?
Sorry, Doctor. Not today. We came to Gagarin to investigate Irvin Mandani's contract with the mining company a long time ago. Ring any bells?
Irvin, yeah. Biologist. Hunter. Yeah, I remember him. Why? Who are you people? Nah, I don't trust you. I don't even know you. So take a long spacewalk with an empty tank, will you?
Please. Irvin was once one of your colleagues. He was the one Hephaestus blamed for an ecological disaster about 20 years ago. Do you remember any of that?
No, I don't remember lies. It's been 20 years. 20! Get out of here.
Look, I know this is strange. We show up out of the blue about things that happened decades ago. But right now, nobody save us knows the truth. And that means we're the only ones who can clear Irvin's name.
That may be what it's about, but it's not what it's gonna be.
I get it. There's a lot to be cynical about, but that's exactly what they want. They only win when we stop trying. But if you testify in court, you can hold them accountable. You can affect change.
Testify? The trial is over, the verdict rendered. In case you two clowns didn't get the memo. Because I tried before, and they threatened me. 20 years ago. I still wake up in fear almost every night. They said if I ever left Gagarin, they... I left my wife to protect her. She didn't deserve any of this. Any of my mess. I remember not to talk with people who come asking questions about powerful corporations. Believe it or not, I don't need or want your money. I made enough of it by working for massive mining corporations. I don't need to risk anything else. Ellie Yankton? But why? It doesn't matter. Nothing's changed. I cannot do that. Why is this so hard to understand here? I think you may be right. Yeah, been a thorn in my side, back and foot for 20 years. Maybe it's time I just pull it out. Fine, you've convinced me. I'd be willing to testify on one condition. I want to know what happened to Irvin. Because when he disappeared, let's just say I had an epiphany. Hephaestus didn't need to say a word. That's when I knew the threats against me and my family were real.
Dr. Hawkson, it wasn't Hephaestus that took Irvin's life. It was the war. Irvin was just in the wrong place at the wrong time. Caught in the crossfire.
Then I am sorry for your loss. It won't change the past for either of us. But I will testify. And maybe, wherever Irvin is, you'll be glad that we can finally stick it to those assholes at Hephaestus.
Thank you, Doctor.
Yeah, don't get all mushy on me now. I need a drink.
Our last head of security was a real smartass. Now, if Chief Pretorius chews you out, you probably earned it.
Helgi agreeing to testify is a great help. We might need witnesses to vouch for his character, though.
Okay, you two, lay it on me. Did you find Helgi? Did he agree to testify?
Well, we've got good news and... well, that's it. Just more good news.
Okay. Does that mean he said yes? What do we look like? New Atlantis? No. Well, that is perfect. She's probably the best person to call on should Hephaestus decide to play dirty. Well, you two have done all that you could. Now it's time to hand the baton off to me.
What do you think, Ellie? Do we have a chance?
The evidence you've gathered is impressive. It truly is.
So what's the verdict? In this case, I'd say spoilers are appreciated.
I almost never say this because I don't want to jinx it, but I think this case is a slam dunk.
Huzzah! That's what I like to hear.
I think we can do everything on our checklist. Clear Irvin of any wrongdoing, charge Hephaestus with the cover-up, and even restore Helgi Dr. Hawkson's standing in the scientific community. All in all, though, really outstanding work. We wouldn't have gotten this far without your efforts. And I've got to imagine that wherever Irvin is, he appreciates it too.
Agreed, Ellie. And thanks for being our anchor in this. We should probably get out of Ellie's way and let her do her thing. We can talk more in private.